Hello everybody, this is Professor West and I will be walking you through the Week 7 activity for this class. To begin, you'll need to click on the individual work link in the Week 7 section and click on the link for the draft that you need to download. And select Open and the document will appear. This stuff out of the way. Okay. The first step of the instructions says to copy the word exploration from the first sentence. You see the word here, where it says exploration. You can highlight it by clicking the mouse to the left or right of the word and then dragging it across. We'll need to copy this word and then we'll replace it, or we'll place it at the end of the paragraph just after the word space. There's a couple different ways you can copy. For now, I'm just going to right click on it to bring up the shortcut menu and I'll use the word copy. You can look down here near the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's the word space, just as the instruction said. We'll place it here, right click again, and paste. Now change it to where it says safety of the space exploration vehicle. Step number 2 says select the underlined word safe in the paragraph, which you can see here. Use the drag and drop editing to move the selected word safe so that it is before the word mission in the same sentence. There's a couple different ways you can do this. Again, highlight the word, and then we will need to move it. What we're going to do is click on it and hold the mouse button down, and then you can drag it. Notice how the insertion point's moving along with it. We'll move it to in front of the word mission and then release it, and it automatically puts it there. It also tells us to click here on the paste options on the drop-down and tell it to keep text only. This removes the underline and it tells it that it's just text that we're moving. The next thing it says for step 3 is to display the ruler if necessary. If your ruler is not showing up, move these items out of the way as well. If the ruler is not showing up, you can click on view. The ruler is across the top here and down the side. Notice it has the inches listed. So this is 1 inch, 2 inches, and so forth. You can do it by clicking on the View button. Yeah, the View button, and then you see right here where it says Ruler. If it's unchecked, notice how now the ruler's not there. When you check it, the ruler appears both across the top and down the side. This will be really beneficial whenever you're trying to align different items, pictures, or what have you. Step number 4 says to change the line spacing of the paragraph to double. In order to do that, you'll first need to highlight the entire paragraph. I clicked at the beginning, held the mouse down, and drug it as you saw here. You can do the same thing going the other way. Click and drag. And there's a few other ways that you could do it too. Some of you may know, but for now this will work. Next, you'll need to click on the Page Layout tab across the top and come across to where you see Paragraph and click on the little button to give you more options. When this box appears, you'll see this is the indents and spacing section. There's general stuff, indentation, spacing. We're going to move all the way over here to where it says line spacing. Right now it's set to multiple. We want it to be double. Notice when I click this, the text behind it's going to change. This right here gives you an example of what it would look like. See, notice how it's changing each time? When you click OK, that'll apply it to the actual document. So now this entire paragraph has been double spaced. When writing an APA paper, double spacing is how you'll need them to be set up. So this will come in beneficial later when you're writing papers. Step number 5 says to use the navigation pane to find all occurrences of the word sensors and how many there are. So first thing you'll want to do is come up here to the Home tab, and then you can come all the way across to the find. Let that box get out of my way. For some reason it showed up. Click find. And now you could tell it that you want to find the word sensors. Simply type in the word and click find next, and it'll tell you there's one right here. If there were more, then when you click next, it finds the next one for you, and so on and so forth. When you get to the end, it tells you that it's finished at the end, and it can go back up and start at the beginning again. Step number 6, let me close this box. Step number 6 says use the find and replace dialog to replace all the occurrences of the word issues with the word problems. There's a couple different ways you can do this, like most other things. The easiest is to point over here to where it says replace, and you see it says find what, which is similar to what we just did. We're going to find the word issues now, and we're going to replace it with the word problems. All I did was put issues in the find what box and problems in the replace with box, and it will go through and it will find the word issues everywhere throughout my document and replace it with the word problems. Yeah, see, it found it here. Now I'm going to tell it to replace all, and issues will no longer appear. Now the word problems appears. Step number 7 says use the word, to find the word height, and use a thesaurus to change the word height to the word altitude. So what we first want to do is we'll go back into the find and we'll change it to the word height. And click find next. Notice the word height is right here. Let me close this box now. I have the word height selected in order to use the thesaurus. Oops. Okay, now that I have the word height highlighted, in order to use the thesaurus, I can simply right-click on it and come down and tell it synonyms. The instructions say to replace it with the word altitude. Notice when I point to synonyms, a lot of different options come up that could replace the word height. Altitude is right here. I can simply click on it. And that's all there is to that. Step 8 says switch to the header so that you can edit it. The header is this area up here at the very top. There's a couple different ways you can switch. The easiest is simply to double click on it. And now notice how this is now highlighted or black, so I can access it, and this part down here is grayed out. In order to go back, I'll simply click down, double click down here, and you can move back and forth between the header and the body of the paper. It says to, in the first line of the header, change the word draft to the word modified. So I'm going to highlight it and delete it and type in the word modified. And now it says space paragraph modified. In the second line of the header, this is step number 9, it says insert the page number with no formatting, one space after the word page. If you look here, you see the word page. We'll add a space at the end, and then we'll have to move to page number right here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to tell it page numbers. You have several different options you can choose from. When you point to one, notice that when I say top of the page, when I point to one, plain number 1, different types show up. I'm just going to click on one. Oh, that didn't work. I want to undo that. So with the cursor here, I'm going to point to page number, and I actually want to go to current position. And I'm going to select a plain number, and it puts a 1 here because this is the first page of my document. Had this been page 2 or 3, it would have been numbered appropriately here. The next step says change the alignment of both lines of the text in the header from left align to right align, and then switch back to the document text. To do this, you can highlight both these rows and then come over here to the home, and just like you would any other text here, come to the paragraph section. This is left align, which means that the text starts at the left side of the page. If you center it, that puts it in the center. Notice how these are not the same now because it starts in the very center, which is right here, and works its way depending on how long the object is. We want right align, which will be right here, which will move it all the way so that no matter how long these two lines are, they end up at the very edge right here of the document. And then it says switch back to the body, and I'm going to do so by double-clicking in the body. Step number 11 says change the document properties as specified by your instructor. If your instructor gave you additional options, this would be the place to do them. Now that we've finished with all of the instructions up to this point, we're going to save it. To do so, you'll need to come over to the Office icon. Depending on which version you have, it may look a little different. Click on it, and then you'll choose Save As, and then you will, when the box comes up, you'll tell it where you wish to save it on your computer. It's always a good idea to save these documents into the same place so that you can find them each time you want them. Step number 13, and this is entirely for your benefit, is to print the document. Again, come up to the Office button here, and if you come down, you'll see Printer, and you can print the document to whatever printer you have attached to your computer. Step number 14 in the assignment says, use the Research Task pane to look up the definition of the word NASA in the paragraph. Handwrite the definition. I'm not too worried about handwriting it, but here's what you'd need to do. First, we'll highlight the word NASA. I did so by double-clicking on it. You could also start at the beginning and highlight it the way we've done so far. Then we're going to come up to the References tag. The Review tab, and along this line you'll see some different options. Right here you see Research. There's a couple different ways you can access it. As it says when it comes up, you could do Alt and then click, but I'm just going to point to it and click on it for now. Notice the Research pane comes up on the right side. Let me move this out of the way again. Notice the Research pane comes up on the right side. It says NASA, and it says all reference books, and it has nothing here. In order to find something, you may have to click the drop-down menu and tell it to use other sources. This will actually be step 15. We'll tell it to use all research sites. When you click on it now, you'll notice that a lot of different websites come up. There's the nasa.gov, which is the official NASA website. It gives you a brief explanation of what you'll find on the page here. You can click on the link and get the full website, and there are several other websites that are listed here that all have something to do with NASA. It's up to you to choose which one you'd like. It's usually best to go with the official one if you can, especially when you're looking for the definition. Step number 16 says display the the research options dialog box on the printout. Write the currently active reference books, blah blah blah. Again, all you have to do if you want is to click on any of these items, and it'll bring up the website for that particular one. And that's it. That was all there is to this. Hopefully this has been helpful to some of you, and you can use any parts of this for other projects along the way, any of the steps that we've discussed so far. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.